Daf Chaf Het Amud Aleph, 27 lines down by the Gemara. Mentioned in the Mishnah, you have to, until the neighbors know about it, you have to announce it. So the Gemara says, Tana Shechina Avida, when you say the neighbors, my Shechina Avida, what does it mean the neighbors? Ili Mashchinim the Baal Avida, it's referring to the neighbors of the lost, of the owner of the lost item. That means you know who it is. Just give it to the guy. What's the point of announcing? Rather, he has to inform and announce to the neighbors of the place where the lost object was found, because that's where it probably belongs to. Next part, Rabbi Dama said, if to announce it for Shlosh Regalim and then 7 days. So the guy has enough time to travel 3 days each way along the breadth of Eretz Israel and return. Hold on a second. The third day of Cheshvan, where we start praying for rain. However, Rabban Gamliel says no. On the 7th of the Cheshvan, which is 15 days after Sukkot, so that the last people who came to Eretz Yisrael for Sukkot can get back to the farthest place by the Euphrates River, the farthest place in the country before rain falls. That's when we start praying for the rain, so the person doesn't get stuck. So we see from here that the farthest walk from Yerushalayim is 15 days, not 3 or 7. There's a difference between which Beit HaMikdash it was. Beit HaMikdash Rishon beneficial Israel to first Beit HaMikdash, a lot of more Jews. The Pasuk says, Yehuda v'Yisrael rabim kahol asher al hayam rav. Israel and Yehuda were like the sand. Ba'in and Kulahai, you need 15 days because the border was much bigger with the people. The lo nefesh Israel, but the second Beit there weren't that many people. The kol hakahal echad. The entire congregation was 42,360. That's not a lot of people. Lubin and Kulai, yeah, just a side note, that's really not a lot of people. Therefore, they didn't need that much time to travel because the border must have been smaller. The Gemara says, it says in the Pasuk that when they came back to the second Beit they returned, which is they returned to their original cities, which means that albeit there's less people, the borders in the city stay the same. Therefore, it should have been the same distance. Gemara says, maybe it's the opposite. Meaning, in the first one, there's a lot of Jews. Therefore, more people would come and join in large numbers. Therefore, people were traveling back. A lot of caravans were traveling back and forth. Therefore, you don't need so much time to reach the border. Therefore, you need 3 days enough because the word can travel through them. Since that many there are Jews there, and therefore not many people would join. There were not many people traveling back and forth. You would need much more time, 15 days, to travel fully, because that would be the amount of time it takes to canvas from side to side, and to also reach the entire border of Israel. So we took the answer and we flipped it inside out as to the reasoning. There's no difference between the second Beit HaMikdash or the first Beit HaMikdash. We do not want to make a person too burdened with the returning lost object. Therefore, he only gave you 7 days instead of 15. Maravina, different answer. Now we see from here. When one announces that he lost something, when he found something, you say what it is, like a garment. If you're just saying that he announces that he found a lost object without saying what it is, but in the Mesiah Daf, he has to give owner one more day to look to check if he's missing anything. Therefore, we see from here that he's actually announcing a garment. The Rava says, even you can even say that he's announcing just a lost item, and it's not a stra. We still didn't give him extra time because we don't want to bother people to take too long with returning his item. Regel Rishon Omer, Regel Rishon. When he comes up to the first Chag, that where we say 3 Chagim, the first time he comes up, he says, "This is the first Chag that I'm announcing that I have this lost object." Regel Sheni Omer Regel Sheni. The second time he says, "This is number 2." Regel Shlishi Omer Stam. The third time he just says, "I found an object," without saying what time it is. Why? How come he doesn't say the third Regel? So the people don't think that he said 2, and therefore they think they have another chance, but they don't. So therefore, if you don't say 2 either, because you might think that it's number 1, and therefore you shouldn't say number 1 either. Where it says even if you confuse two and one, you still have the third chance. However, if the guy were to confuse three with two, he's gonna think he has another chance, but he doesn't. That's why we don't say number three. Number one. Originally, whenever you found a lost object, you announced three chagim. The last one, another 7 days. You should have 3 days traveling back and forth to find his check his items, and then 1 day to announce. When Beit HaMikdash gets rebuilt, inshallah gets rebuilt, Hitkinu, the Melech HaChaim, sorry, when Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, and inshallah we have it rebuilt, they made a takana. Sheyu machrizim used announce it in shuls and Batei Medrashot. But when the confiscators increase, we'll see what that is. You should just announce it to your neighbors and friends, and that's enough. The confiscators. These people who walk around saying that everything that's lost automatically belongs to the king. Ami found a vessel of gold coins. He saw a Roman seeing him find this item, and he got nervous to take it. He says, go and enjoy it for yourself. I'm not a Persian. Who said that all items belong to the king. There was a Even Toen. Even Toen was a location by the Beit HaMikdash. It was a huge stone that whoever lost something would go there. Whoever found something would go there as well. So a big lost and found. This guy would stand by the stone and announce it, and this guy would stand and give simanim and take it. And this is the stone that we learned about. When Huniyah Ma'agal, with the famous story with the water, the famous story of Huniyah Ma'agal, who had told the people with the case, he made a circle around himself to pray for rain, and when it started to pour and rained, quote unquote, too much, he told him, okay, stop, ask Hashem to stop it raining, and he says, okay, go check if the stone is dissolved, which is impossible. So that was his way of saying we don't ask for berachot to stop. So this is the same stone that he was talking about. Okay, next Mishnah. Amar if the guy claimed that the lost named the lost object, but he didn't give the simanim, you don't give it to him. And if the guy is known to be dishonest, even if he does give simanim, you don't give it to him. We'll explain. Until your brother looks out for you. Until you investigate the brother to check if he's a scammer or not. Itmar, Rav Yehuda you find something, you say that he found a lost object. That's saying what it was. Nachman would say, no, I found a garment. You announce what it is. He would say only found the lost object without saying what it was. Because if he said it was a garment, Haishin and I, we suspected that a scammer will come. But Racham says, now we say what it is, but I'm not worried about people who's trying to scam me, the imkin and the myself, because then we would never be able to figure out who's scamming, who's not scamming, and nothing would ever get returned. Tan, you have Mishnah, Amar et if someone claimed the lost object but didn't give simanim, how did they let you You don't give it to him. Now, if you want to tell me the guy says, I just found a lost object without saying what it was, that makes sense. Even if the guy says, I lost a shirt, he actually identifies it correctly. Still, if he doesn't say what the siman is, you don't give it back. That makes sense. But according to the opinion, according to Nachman, who says that you announce what it was. And then he says, oh yeah, I lost the garment. Do you need to teach me that if he doesn't say the siman, of course not. If he doesn't give the siman, then of course you don't give it back. What's the hidush according to Nachman? Where it says, no, really, he is announcing what it was. He is giving simanim. So why does it say that he didn't give simanim? He didn't give specific features and siman. He gave general, like, oh yeah, I lost a red shirt. Oh, okay, it was red, but what type of shirt was it, etc. Okay. Even if the guy is known to be dishonest, he's known to be a scanner, even if he gives money, you don't give it back. Originally, whoever lost it, you'd give a siman and done. But when there's a lot of dishonest people, if they brought siman, you'd require them to bring edim. This is a very, very amusing story. The father of Papa, He lost a donkey and someone else found it. After the committed Rabba Ravuna came before Rabba Ravuna to claim it, he said, go bring witnesses that you're not a dishonest person, and then you could claim your donkey with simanim. As said they brought witnesses. Amar Lahuli, did you know Be Dramayu? Rabba Ravuna said that witnesses, do you know whether or not do you think he's a dishonest person? So they thought he's asking, do you think he's an honest person? But he asked it backwards. Amrule int. He said, yes, he's dishonest. So Amalu Anaramana. So the Papa's father says to them, whoa, I'm a scammer? What are you talking about? I brought you for the opposite purpose. I brought you to say that I'm an honest person. I'm really no, I don't lie about the no, we meant to say you're not a dishonest person. He says it makes sense that no one would bring witnesses to testify bad upon him, and therefore we accept that they revised their testimony. And obviously, it was just because of the wording. Sometimes people do with their spouses. You expect them to ask you a question and you answer it without listening, and you answer the wrong question incorrectly. Okay, new Mishnah. Anything that works and eats like an ox or donkey, put it to work to make it worth your while, and you have to feed it. But it does not work, but it eats, you should sell it because there's no reason for you to lose money. You should return it to him. Consider how you should return it to him. What should be the money that you sell, that we do with it after you sell it? You can use it. Therefore, if you lose it, you're responsible for the loss. Because says, no, don't use it. Therefore, if it gets lost, you're not responsible for it. Now, the Gemara says, let's say you have this ox. You're supposed to keep it around forever, working it in your field until whatever it is. 12 months. Let it work for you, then you can sell it. Tanya says, well, anything that works and eats, you should care for them for 12 months. From there on out, value it, sell it, and keep the money for the guy. Calves and young donkeys, 3 months instead of 12. From there on out, sell it. Like geese and roosters, 30 days. There on out, sell it. A chicken is like a large animal, and therefore you should keep 12 months because you could sell the eggs. A chicken or a large animal, you keep them 12 months. From there on out, sell it and keep the money for the guy. Calves and young donkeys, care for them for 30 days. After that, sell it. Geese and roosters and whatever type of animal that the care costs more than the expense costs more than it earns. You found a cat. It's not bringing you money. You're gonna have to pay for it to be groomed and eat and fed. It's gonna cost more money. You're gonna come to the guy with the bill? No. Therefore, care for it for 30 days. From there on out, sell it. Now the problem is the first Braita said that the calves and the young donkeys you keep it for 3 months. And the second Braita says you keep it only for 30 days. And also sira between the geese and the donkeys, the geese and the chickens. Because the first Braita says that the geese and the donkeys keep it 30 days. And the second Braita says you keep it for 3 days. Not a stira. The Braita that says you keep it for 3 months is where you have grass to feed them, and therefore it's not expensive for you. Second Braita says you have 30 days is where you don't have grass, and therefore you have to give them actual food. That's more expensive. Okay. Geese and roosters, stira is not a stira. Because why? When you care for 3 days, referring to large ones which eat a lot, and the second Braita, which is 30 days, is small ones which eat very little and therefore not expensive to maintain. Next part of Mishnah said, anything that does not work but it eats, you shall return it to him. Which means consider how you return it to him. That doesn't mean that if you found 2 calves, don't sell one to feed the other. Or don't sell one geese to feed the other geese, but rather sell them both and give the guy the full amount. Right? So don't sell a $500 item to feed the other $500 item that you found. Rather sell all $1,000 of both animals and return $1,000 to the guy. That's the next part of the Mishnah. When it says that Rabbi Tefan, you could use the money that you got after selling it. One of anything else, you can't use it. Ad kan lo pli. There's no machlok between Rabbi Tefan and Rabbi Akiva when elakish nishtabishbehen, when he used the money. Avalosh b'shbehen, but if he did not use the money, im avdu patur. Right. So if he didn't use it, then he's patur because he never used it and therefore it never went under his care. They would both agree in that scenario that he is patur from reimbursing that loss.